Hi everyone, welcome back to my platform, All Things African Parenting. If this is the first video that you're getting a hold of, my name is Chiedza Nyamfukudza. I'm a social worker, also I'm an aspiring parenting coach. For those who've watched the first part and the second part of the discipline series, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video. This is the third part. In the third part of this video, I will be discussing alternative strategies to spanking, yelling, shouting, or any disciplining methods that involve violence, aggression, that basically harm the children. I've had a lot of conversations, parents telling me, well, you do need a little bit of spanking, it works, those kind of things. But I'm gonna take you on a different journey. So the first strategy I want to talk about is clear, consistent communication. This is the first strategy I want to talk about, and it is the foundation of effective discipline. You cannot talk about discipline if you've not communicated clearly your expectations in a way that the child understands, remembers, and can follow. It's also important to understand that your expectations or your communication has to be age appropriate. You can't expect a 2-year-old to never have tantrums. It means you're in for disappointment. Developmentally, we do know that children who are 2 years old have not developed, their brains have not developed fully to be able to fully regulate their emotions. So it makes sense for you to expect, some meltdowns here and there. I'm not saying this should be the norm, but I think you have to have realistic expectations. Also, when it comes to clear, consistent communication, there has to be routines and predictability. You cannot allow a specific behavior today and then restrict it the next day and then punish it the next day. If bedtime is 8, it should be 8. Do not give unclear messages to the child, because by this you are actually teaching or training your child that, there's a room to behave in a certain way. There is room not to follow this. It depends how I feel. And that is on you and not on the child. Another advantage with clear, consistent communication is that it removes ambiguity. So when you're communicating, you try and be specific. You try and say, when you visit, try to ask for food. Try to listen to what the people you're staying with say. You are communicating your expectations to the child. The second strategy I would want to talk about is natural consequences. People actually underestimate this, and they don't realize this can actually be a strategy to discipline or manage specific behaviors. You are allowing your child to experience the consequence of their behavior if it is safe to do so. I don't want people going around saying, oh, Chiedza is encouraging parents to let their children run in the roads and get run over by cars. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about consequences that aren't too consequential, and also consequences that leave the children within a safe environment. So for example, you tell your child, maybe you're going out for a movie night out, you have to walk a 10-minute distance. You tell your child, you need to take your jacket with you. They decide, oh, I'm not going to listen to mom, I'm not going to listen to dad. And then they start feeling the cold. That is a good enough lesson for them to learn that, okay, mom told me to carry my jacket. Maybe next time I should listen to what mom says. You are allowing them to experience natural consequences of their behavior. So that is actually an effective disciplining method. It's not every time when you need to shout, yell, spank. You allow the natural consequences to take its course. On the aspect of consequences, I don't want you to think that I'm totally against consequences. I think there are rare instances where consequences need to be issued out by parents. I'll give an example. Say a child keeps losing a hat or a school bag, and they keep expecting you to buy it. They are not learning that they need to look after their belongings. In that instance, I think it's an appropriate measure to actually say, I think if we use some of your pocket money to pay towards the help that you're constantly losing, it's not a way to punish, but it's a way for them to understand that, things are bought by money. They need to look after their things, and they can't keep losing stuff and expect mom or dad to keep buying those stuff. Consequences are needed, and they have to be appropriate, because the world out there issues consequences. So in order to teach lessons, consequences need to be given. However, the consequences, in my opinion, need to sting, not wound. That is not the point at which you start calling your child names and you start saying, "Oh, you are so forgetful. Where did you get this stupid brain?" That is not the point at which you call your child names. That is the point at which you simply just teach them a lesson by them using their pocket money to pay. And you've really taught them a lesson where you as a parent have issued the consequences. The consequences sting, but they do not wound. The third strategy I would like to talk about is time in. I know there are a lot of parenting books that talk about timeout, naughty corners, naughty step. Probably they do work, but I'm not really supportive of those strategies. The reason being that they are not based on connection. I prefer time in. So what do I mean when I say time in? Say a child was expressing a certain behavior. Maybe they were expressing a tantrum. Maybe they are hitting their sibling because they are jealous. They want to spend a bit more time with mommy. How a parent would handle that would be to sit down with the child, validate their emotions, say, "I can see you want to spend a bit of time with mommy. Mommy is spending a lot of time with your little brother because he's younger, he needs more attention. I can see how frustrating that is. But if you are feeling that way, Sunny, you communicate, "Mommy, I want to spend a bit more time with you." That is not the time to hit your brother. So as they are, expressing their tantrum, you are sitting with them, you are helping them to regulate. That is not the time to shout at the child and say, "Go out of here, go and sit in the lounge there. Can't you see I'm attending to your brother?" You're sitting with the child, you're understanding that at their age, they probably won't be able to express to you that they're feeling jealous, that mom is spending time with my little brother. They also want to spend time with their mom. They want to have that connection with their mom. They're also a child. So, in that instance, it's spending time in, sitting with them, helping them, and teaching them to regulate their emotions. For me, that seems like a better strategy other than shouting at them, sending them to the naughty step, and sending them to the naughty corner. I don't know what you think. Maybe you share your thoughts in the comment section. The next strategy I want to talk about is positive reinforcement. People underestimate the effectiveness of giving praise, giving rewards to encourage repetition. I'll give an example. We recently did potty training with our son, and we used praise, we used rewards, just to encourage that kind of behavior. So we listened to this book, Potty Training in 3 Days. I can't remember who the author is, but it was a really helpful book. And we used Smarties. Each time our child pooed in or weed in the toilet, we would give them a sweet and would give them a sticker to say well done. And guess what? Within 4 days, we were having as little as 1 accident in 1 day. So people underestimate the effectiveness of positive reinforcement. And in that instance, I know a lot of parents would spank, would yell, would shout. In that instance, we didn't need to do that. We didn't even need to yell, we didn't even need to spank, we didn't even need to shout. Just positive reinforcement helped us achieve our goal with our son. Now the next strategy I want to talk about is offering choices. So offering choices, it's also about offering control with limits. You could say to your child, "Do you want to brush your teeth first or do you want to bath first?" You are giving them that sense of control that, "Oh, okay, I can even choose if I want to bath or brush my teeth first." And sometimes you can allow your child to wear what they want even if it doesn't match. Say they preferred a pink dress to a blue dress and they wanted to wear it with brown shoes. What harm is it going to cause? As long as they are warm, as long as it's weather appropriate, what harm is it going to cause? You are letting them have that control, and you are avoiding tantrums, you are avoiding behaviors. Everybody is happy. What's wrong with that? It's not every time where you have to force your way, where you have to shout, you are going to wear that dress or I'm going to spank you, Tinashe. I know some parents do that. So I'm talking from experience. One of my favorite strategies is modeling. Modeling. There are people who say, do as I say and don't do as I do. That doesn't work with children. You know that saying that says, monkey see, monkey do? That's exactly how it works with children. If you want your children to communicate calmly, then don't shout at them. If you want your children to be an emotionally intelligent child, then show them that. You can't be involved in a road rage. Oh, fuck off you! You can't cut me! All those things, and then expect your child not to swear. You are actually teaching them how to behave. So the best way to teach your child how to behave is to model a specific behavior. The behavior that you want. It's parents who force their children, say please, say thank you. The best way to teach your child manners is to talk to them with manners. Oh, thank you, Sunny, for giving me that remote. Oh, thank you, baby, for removing my plate and putting it in the kitchen. Oh, thank you for sharing that apple. Just integrating it in how you live your life. That's the best way to teach behavior. Other than, if you don't say thank you, I'm going to spank you. If you don't say thank you, I'm going to take that away, using threats. The best way to teach a child to behave is to model. Show them how it's done. Monkey see, monkey do. The next strategy I want to talk about is collaborative problem solving and reasoning. So when a child behaves in a specific way, you discuss their behavior, you talk about the feelings that they were experiencing, and you come up with a solution. The example I referred to earlier on. So you talk about, earlier I did see that you were hitting your brother. What were you feeling at that point in time? Oh, mommy, I was feeling jealous, if they can express that. Oh, mommy, I wanted to spend a bit of time with you. I was feeling left out. All right, that's fine. They've expressed their feelings. Now you come up with your solution. Do you think that's the best way to behave when you're feeling jealous? What do you think you should do next time if you are having these kind of feelings? Or try and take me, try and communicate, mommy, I want a hug, mommy, I want this. By doing that, together you are coming up with a solution to discuss the best course of action. Sometimes you can actually discuss consequences with the child. I've seen you've taken some chips without asking, or you've taken this in the fridge without asking. What do you think you should do next time? Oh, next time I should ask mommy. If you don't ask mommy, what do you think mommy should do next time? This child is actually coming up with their own consequence. So when they are experiencing that consequence, they are not seeing it as though you are being mean. They know we agreed to this. They know I'm just experiencing the consequences of my behavior. That's a good strategy, other than just shouting, yelling, giving threats, and spanking. Another helpful way is redirecting and just non-verbal cues. What I tend to do sometimes when my son is really getting annoyed, maybe he's just shouting, I can't see what he's shouting about. I can't see the cause. Maybe he's just tired. My son loves numbers and letters. We'll just start saying 1, 2, 3, 4, counting. And as soon as he gets engrossed in that counting, he's already forgotten that he wanted to cry. At that point, that is not the point in which I'm saying, you shut up now, or else you're going to get a beating. There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that. I can manage that behavior by counting, and mommy is happy, my son is happy, no one is crying, no one is sad. I've managed the behavior. Now, the last strategy I want to talk about is ignoring minor behaviors. I'm not talking about, if your son does anything else, you just ignore, you don't attend to that behavior. because that actually borders on permissive parenting. When I'm talking about ignoring minor behaviors, I'm not talking about neglect. I'm talking about you communicate to the child that if you continue whining, I'm not going to respond to that. You are communicating to them first. It's not silent treatment. You know, we talk, we don't whine. If you want something, you talk to me, you do not whine. The moment they whine, they don't get a reaction. They know mommy said when you want something, you talk, you do not whine. And you only use it sparingly. I'm not saying this should be your go-to. That strategy actually works. At that point in time, when they express that behavior and mommy is not responding to it, they are going to remember, oh, mommy said don't talk, we whine. So by ignoring those minor behaviors in a timed way, not as your go-to, it actually helps manage a specific behavior. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please add more strategies that you found useful in your parenting journey that aren't yelling, threats, shouting, spanking, and see how those have worked for you. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. Thank you, and bye-bye. See you in my next video.